Hello, welcome back. My name is Vasco the Gamer, and it's time for another vlog. And today's topic is going to be judgment. And because, well, I see myself as a person who is not that judgmental because, well, I'm weird as hell, and so why aren't you supposed to be weird again? Or what are you not supposed to do when you're in certain places? Like yesterday, I was out on local Irish pub and just decided, okay, I have a few minutes to kill. Why not just take up my knitting? Because I started knitting, and I started knitting a scarf. And let me just show you how that looks like. And here it is. So I just killed some time here and then just by trying to knit, because knitting, when you don't have very good motoric skills, depending on how you say it, that is quite hard sometimes. I don't know why. And knitting when you're Tourette is quite the experience, because normally knitting is the kind of activity that at least my grandmother is using to relax, and she's been doing that for years. But as you can see here, mine is a bit, I don't know if you can see it here, but it's not the usual scarf, and also it's a bit, it reminds me of Swiss cheese basically, because, well, it's full of holes. That's because this is the first thing I've ever knitted, and so I just tend to try out something, let's say writing a book or knitting, and if it's hard, then I'll just continue, because I think it's hilarious for myself just to try and learn something, and at the same time, when I do it, I try to be as quiet as I can. So just, let's say, knit, knit, knit. Bye! Sorry, I missed the masks. Sorry. And so doing that in a pub, that is extraordinarily weird, for me at least. So I usually just go out in a plain shirt, and yeah, I wear suits every day, so I wear a suit, and that black coat you saw, the vlog, I still use that, even though it's still now quite big for me. And so I'm known for being very weird, and there were a few people that came up to me last night just, what the heck are you doing? Knitting? Can't you see that? Why? I don't have anything better to do, I'm just waiting anyway, so why not? And so that's just what I do for fun. Trying to be as weird as I can. No, that's not the goal really, but it's like, I know that I'm weird anyway, and as soon as I open my mouth, you will realize that. And so I don't see the point of trying to hide it. Or I talked about earlier that I used to take a notepad with me when I was going out. I'm used to taking a lot of weird things with me when I'm going out. I think the weirdest thing I brought to a pub was my dog. That was a fun trip. He wasn't allowed to go in, even though he was at that point 9 in dog years, so he was well over the drinking age. I wonder why he didn't come in. Perhaps because it was a 50-kilo Labrador, not a lapdog. He was a lapdog, but not in that fashion. It was hard to keep him on one lap. And so I can do that because, well, straight white male, and, well, I can do all sort of shit without being judged, and at the same time, if I am being judged, I don't bloody care. When I had long hair, as you remember from way back in this year, I had long hair, and it was colored in all sorts of weird colors, basically. It was, at some point, purple, blue, red, blonde, black, pink, because the purple color went out, and I looked like every single generic Final Fantasy villain ever. One thing, the reason why I'm not putting up a picture about that is because there are no pictures. I made sure of that. I think there's one picture on the internet with me with blue hair, that's it. Nothing else. And even I am struggling to find it. So that's interesting. But then again, my mother told me while I was in my teens that if you're going to be weird, show it. And so I took that as basically Okay, let's see. How far can we stretch this? For instance, I have, after a fishing trip once, I brought a fishing line and a hook with me when going out in the town. Reason? Well, I wanted to get someone hooked. That is a terrible joke and I know it, but that's just part of the reason why I'm that weird and I don't bloody care. I'm not allowed to bring it in. Okay, fine, I'll just leave it in the car then. No problem. On the other hand, this is one of the, well, most frequent reactions I have when I get a plan. Why? That comes from everyone I know. At some point during a week that I speak to them, I get a reaction. Either that or they laugh. If they laugh, good. If they cringe, perfect. That means that I'm doing something that you think is terrible and that could be interesting. Then again, I can be judged for a lot of things. But then again, there are a lot of things that you can't judge me on. At the same time, there are many out here who has very big problems of being judged. For instance, if you're not a straight white male, you can have a lot of things you can be judged for. Sexuality, number one. Your gender, or agender, or what you identify yourself with, or what you are. Let people judge. So, for instance, let's say you work in construction and you're not a straight white male. Sometimes I would say good luck, but on the other hand, get your shit together, construction workers. Because there are a number of jobs that, if it's mostly one gender who has that job, it's very easy to have judgment towards it. And that's very annoying, because that's not how it should be. Let's say that 99.9% of one occupation is purely male. There should be no judgment for a woman or another gender to choose to work in that business. There should be no problem whatsoever. In my head. But then again, reality is never like my head. And so I could do a lot of things that other people would either judge me or judge someone else for doing, because I'm known for being weird. And so people tend to just, oh, it's just like, that's how he is. But that is also a problem that we can't, that a lot of people are judgmental. I don't like my words sometimes. Anyway, that you have to explain it, that that's just how they are, because we don't tolerate that much that we think we do. For example, snowflakes. Oh, snow's coming soon, yes. That interesting part is, if, let's say, a 60-year-old male, white male in the US, or 70, 80, that doesn't really matter, because if they call someone out for being triggered for something that we think is fully understandable of being triggered by, let's say that, for instance, there was a case in the US, either this week or last week, that white woman that then called the police on black man, called man. I don't really know or no. The first word that pops into my mind anyway. Because he said that he lived in a building, which he did. She didn't believe him, and she called the cops on him after a while. Why was that so hard to think? I have no idea. And that has happened a lot lately, that some people have called the cops because of someone that is not having their color is doing something that they would usually do. Racist, maybe? Yeah, that was a very big problem. 60s, 70s, and up until now. I don't know why. We've got to space, goddammit. If an alien asks a human race that, what race are you? You won't say the color of your skin. You say, we are humans. Why can't we just have that same thing going on between us that we'll do if someone else comes along? Like from my perspective, I'm from Bergen, town of Norway, second largest. If someone that is from an island outside, I'm very, I'm from Bergen, you're from an island outside. Okay. But then again, if someone, from example, Oslo, capital, comes along from the outside of the country, just hi, mate. Hey, fuck off. We're both from the west. So, bugger off. Then a Swede comes along. No. We are Norwegians, so sod off. It's that thing, except with colours. And I don't get that. Because the tone between me and a flatmate of mine, who is from one of the islands outside, it's very friendly. We will mock each other back and forth, but it's no harm done, and it's basically... Oh, that's why you didn't read my message. You guys haven't discovered internet yet. It's tomorrow. Right. They have internet. Very good connection, though. But it's just those kinds of situations. And that's not being judgmental. That's just being... We'll mock the history, because we had a war with them once upon a time. They won. I don't know why. I don't really remember. That is way before my time. This is 100, 200 years back? Yes. And so, let's say that I'm not being judged for a lot of things because, well, I can get away with it. Why? Look at the color of my skin and my voice. And the fact that I'm male. I identify as one, and biologically I am one. So, I got no issue there. But if a woman comes out of the town, which they usually do, that is perfectly normal. She doesn't really need to say that much before she gets catcalled. It's just because the way she dresses. Why? I don't get why some people need to be that stupid, basically. One thing is to go up to someone and tell them that they look great. Another thing is catcalling. Why do people do that? It's 2018, god damn it. At the same time, we also have a lot of things that is problematic in my society and our society combined, is that if you have a mental illness, then I had one guy that came up to me once when I was talking about mental illness that I got. He just went, "Oh, you're one of those brain damaged people. I guess you're slow." Wait, am I slow? Well, then you can fuck right off. Bye, idiot. And that was just to prove his point, basically. And so, if you have mental illnesses, and that's lots of things we could take up with judgment and the fact that things aren't always the way that they look. That is true for 99% of human history. That everything seemed fine. It wasn't. It was never fine. And if you tell someone that, no, you can't do it because of insert mental illness, color of your skin, any other idiotic excuse that you made up. No, those aren't valid reasons. Those are not valid at all. That's just you being judgmental, so stop it, please. If you had one bad experience with one terrible human being of one color, don't judge the rest of those with the same color. If you had one problematic person with, let's say, ADHD, don't blame it on the rest of people who got it. It's not voluntarily. It's not something that, do I want to have ADHD today or not? It's not like you choosing dinner. The same goes for every single mental illnesses and physiological illnesses. I didn't choose to, I choose to wear glasses, but then again, I don't choose to being almost blind when I take them off. I can't bloody see a bloody thing in here. Also, I didn't choose to be allergic. I didn't choose to have basically a straight foot as well. I didn't choose to have asthma. You don't choose those things, they just happen. Or They just, okay, this new human being, what should we do? Okay, let's have small brain damage. Let's have a bit energy drink. Oops, that was ADHD. Whoops, next. It's not like that. You can't pick and choose your mental illnesses. That's not how it works. And so, stop judging people for how they are. If they have mental illnesses, then that's one thing. They have to deal with every single day of their life. Every single minute. And that is just annoying. If someone tries to call out on that and pretend that, why don't you just turn that off? Because I am not a robot, you idiot! And so, people not being able to realize that, one, don't try, at the very least, to be judgmental. Try and understand a bit. Try and go into every single space with an open mind. And if you can't do that, then don't open your mouth at all. Because one thing is to joke about certain subjects and in certain places. That can be fine, but know your audience. And also, that is something I'm very bad at, though. And I can joke about things because I know that what I say is harmless. I'm not ever or never going to try willingly or do willingly set people up in a cage or in a box. If I know that, okay, I need something done. Okay, I could hire person A or person B. Okay, they have the same qualifications. They just have a different skin color. Let's call them both into an interview then. And then we'll see how they are. Will they go great with our businesses or not? I won't just pick and choose depending on the color of the skin. That's not how it should work. And neither should anything else, because male and female pay them the same and don't bloody care. And one thing that in our society you're not allowed to ask in an interview, or I don't know if it's allowed anywhere, is, are you going to have a kid in the next 2 years? Don't ask that to anyone. That's up to them. And if you're going to have a kid or not, so what? Are you going to have a dog? What question is that again? Because I would really want one. Please, can we have one? Fly, sort of. And so, that's a bit more relevant and also a better question. Are you going to have a dog or a cat? Or any other animal? If so, bring them to work because we all want the dogs. Except if you're working at a place that is allergy friendly. In that case, get a dog with hair. Now I'm sidetracking completely. Anyway, please don't judge me. Because, or you may judge me, I don't bloody care because, well, I was bullied for 16 years. So, unless you can really do a lot of judgmental things, I don't really see the point. And if someone is very judgmental, remember, they should excuse themselves to every single tree they come allowed to. Because they're just a waste of time, space, and oxygen. We don't need those people. So, to recap, don't be judgmental. We're all weird in our own, well, things. And don't think that things are the way that they seem, because they're usually not. And male, female, and I don't bloody care what color your skin is. If it's orange, I don't bloody care, because colorblind, I don't bloody care. That's two different things, by the way. And so, why should it matter if I start to knit in a pub? Why should I matter if someone is going to what I would see as the wrong toilet? If I see someone in a skirt or someone who clearly looks female goes into the boys' room, I just... okay. Then it's, well, up to them, basically. If they are male or feel like, or really don't want all the drama, I don't bloody care. Make all toilets unisex, that's easy. So, anyway, today's lesson, don't be judgmental, and if you're weird, show it. And let's make this plan a bit better next time. My name is Oscar the Gamer. This has been about judgment, I guess. So, anyway, what do you think? And feel free, if you're going to be judgmental in the comments, well, I'll check them and see what you say. And if you enjoyed this video, slap that like button, and I see you all in the next vlog. Goodbye!